All right, it's time to get going. I want to talk to you about goals. Before you set out on a destination, you want to know where you're going. You don't get in the vehicle to go on a family vacation, load up the car and with the family, the kids, the dogs, the parakeets, the cats, whatever you take on vacation. Personally, if I took a cat on vacation, it wouldn't be vacation. But whatever you take on vacation, you load up the car, you get ready to go, and then what? Where are we going? I don't know. 99% of the time, that's not going to be a very good vacation. You want to know where you're going. Part of that is knowing where you're not going, right? What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, when we're talking about goals, I want to talk to you about what I don't want for you. I don't want you to try to be a carbon copy of me. I don't want you to be a cookie cutter copy of really anybody. What we want to do is find who you really are. Maybe you want to sing on YouTube. Maybe you want to just be a better choir member. Maybe you want to use your voice better in community events that you're singing in. Maybe you're going to do some recording, whatever it might be. You think through what your goals are, not what someone else has for you, not trying to sound like somebody else, but think through who you are. I really believe this, that a person to have a beautiful voice, to find their voice, their authentic voice, they need to be comfortable with who they are in their own skin. And you know what? These things kind of help each other. If you aren't comfortable with who you are, if you are all locked up inside and you're afraid of everything, afraid of the world and things like that, well, let me encourage you. Singing can be a great way to overcome many of those fears. And as you overcome many of those fears, your voice will open up. And I've seen it happen over and over again. People who unlock their voice, unlock parts of themselves that enable them to be freer and able to enjoy life. It's a wonderful tool, I think, that we have. But our goal isn't to sound like someone else. It isn't to make you sound like my style or whatever it might be. That's not our goal. I want you to be the best singer that you can be. I want you to be the best version of you that you can be. I use the term Belcanto not because I came up with it. It's been around for a really long time. For centuries, but Belcanto means beautiful singing, and it's been shrouded in obscurity. During the Middle Ages, Italian masters would teach their pupils by listening to them, and when the pupil created the tone or a sound of admirable quality, the master would urge him to repeat that sound until it was ingrained in his memory. This practice became so inherent to Italian singers that Italian singing really became shrouded in mystery. Many thought that Italy was protecting its singing mastery from foreign countries, when in reality it was simply espousing a valuable teaching style. There are some today who continue to use this style and approach. And it emphasizes certain things. And even though we're not going to go deeply into Belcanto specifically, I really think the basic underlying principles of what it is are what will stand. They have stood the test of time, and they're going to continue. And they ought to be our goals. For example, Belcanto emphasizes a continuity of line and a resonance of tone with a natural expression. What is that? Well, a continuity of line, it has to do with a phrasing that continues. You don't think note by note. So I'm not thinking, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Okay, that's really choppy. A lot of kids would sing it that way, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what... Do you hear that? Do you hear that tonal line? That should be a goal, right? I heard it said that the difference between someone who's an amateur or a beginner, when they sit down to play the piano, they play the piano with all kinds of impulses. So they're playing don't, 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 right? That's an amateur, plucking those notes. Someone who's advancing a little bit more might be able to think in terms of a measure. Dun, 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 dun. How I wonder what you are. There's a pulse on every measure. A true master can think through a song as if it's one big pulse. Now, if that's a little out there for you, that's okay. It's just a mental picture. Sometimes I like to use those. I know they can be a little confusing sometimes, but the point is we want to think in terms of long lines rather than individual notes. Also, resonance of tone. Now, we live in a world that has a lot of microphones. What am I using right here? I'm using a microphone to record so you get a good sound. And in concert halls and performance venues and people who are doing karaoke or whatever it might be, we use microphones. There's nothing wrong with that. We can learn good microphone technique. But the point of the matter is you want to have a voice that's not dependent upon these things in order to have resonance. So we want a goal that we have that's in common with what Belcanto is resonance of tone. It's the difference between this, twinkle, twinkle, little star. See, I'm all like locked up in my throat. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Ugh. Right? And I don't want this either. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right? I'm kind of forcing that tone so that it carries out. No, we want resonance. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right? How I wonder what you are. It's nice and clear. It resonates. And then natural expression. Have you ever seen someone when they're singing and they're making all kinds of strange contortions with their face, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. I mean, all kinds of contortions, right? And this is one that'll hit a lot of even well-trained singers, is the eyebrow lift. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. That doesn't really help the idea that opera singers and trained singers are uppity, right? Doesn't do much to dispel that myth because instantly we have this kind of look. Right? Okay. We don't want any of that type of stuff. We don't want those artifices, those artificial masks that we put on to make us seem like we're better than we are. No. Natural expression. We don't want to have to yell to go up high. Higher, 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 higher. No. Higher, 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 higher. Nice and light. We don't want choppiness, right? We do want clean attack. What is a clean attack? I really don't even want to use the word attack because that gives us the idea that we want to start a tone like ah. That's a glottal stop. I'm closing my throat off and I'm letting it go. I'm bursting the vocal folds apart. Right? If you're a cheerleader, first of all, you might want to consider not being a cheerleader. Okay. But if you absolutely have to be a cheerleader, if you're in high school, then you've got to be conscious of not doing glottal stops. Don't do those. They can ruin your voice on the long term. And we'll just leave that right there. Okay. But we want an avoidance of airy, breathy tone and a loose vibrato. We don't want twinkle, twinkle, little star, right? And we don't want twinkle, twinkle, little star. What is that? No, that's lack of control. We don't want that. Fluid diction and graceful phrasing flowing from a complete mastery of breath control. We're going to deal with these things as we go through. But our goal ought to be to incorporate these elements into every song that we sing. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to prepare yourself before you sing so that your body and brain support the sound coming out your mouth. An assignment I want you to do after this one is I want you to see how far through the alphabet you can go. I know it's kind of silly, but instead of thinking A, B, C, D, E, F, G, don't think of them individually. I want you to say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Okay? See how far you can go. with the alphabet. And then maybe even Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And I want you to think of them in long lines. Don't twinkle, twinkle, little star. Blah. Don't do that. Long lines. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right? Try that for an exercise, and then we'll move on to the next video.